Right now, live at 5.
An update to the fire that happened here at the Pastorate Building Sunday.
Plus, Election Day is almost here, and the presidential contenders are crisscrossing the nation to make one last pitch to voters. And nonpartisan and fact-based. That's the message behind a former teacher's goal to make sure everyone, no matter their age, gets their political questions answered. And later, just a week out from Minnesota's deer hunting opener, and tag sales are significantly higher than this time last year.
You're watching Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Welcome to the CBS3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look from downtown Duluth on this Monday afternoon. We're officially one day from Election Day, and we have some more campaign news to get to. But first, we're learning more after a fire tore through the Cozy building, what you're looking at right there, yesterday. Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. Tonight we're hearing from Duluth's fire chief after a building that's been the subject of controversy for decades went up in flames again yesterday.
CBS3's John Cardinelli joins us live from downtown Duluth outside the Pastorate Terrace building, home of the former Cozy bar. John, what do we know so far about this fire?
Kristen, that's right. The fire broke out here at 9:30 a.m. yesterday. You could see here tonight the intersection of 1st Street and 2nd Avenue East still blocked off as fire officials tell us they're still investigating the scene here. According to Duluth Fire Chief Sean Courget, the fire was put out around 3 yesterday afternoon, but crews stayed overnight to make sure there were no flare-ups. No one was hurt. We still don't know how much damage was done to the vacant building or how the fire started. Chief Courget wouldn't speculate at this point if he thinks it's suspicious. He says they've spent the day investigating how structurally sound the building is. Right now, fire crews are looking at the outside. Tomorrow, they hope to move that investigation inside. But at a glance, Courget says he thinks the building itself is questionable.
For me, from a firefighting standpoint, it's questionable, so that's why we've had this order again for a few years that our crews are not going to enter the building unless there's a legitimate life safety concern, meaning a legitimate rescue.
We mentioned this isn't the first time this building has been a victim to a major fire. In November 2010, another major blaze seriously damaged the building, which was also home to low-income apartments at the time. After that fire a decade ago, the building went into tax forfeit. It was owned by Eric Ringsred at the time, but then the Duluth Economic Development Authority took ownership about a year later. And since then, the Ringsreds have sued to try to keep this building standing, while DETA has tried to knock it down a couple of times. That court decision is currently up in the air.
Well, John, this fire came just 5 days after DETA actually approved a $135,000 contract for repairs at that very building. Is that still going to be moving forward?
Kristen, so that contract is still expected to be brought up at the Duluth City Council next week. We heard that from city officials. They tell us that $135,000, if passed, will go towards maintaining the structure of this building so it can make it through the winter.
John Cardinelli in downtown Duluth for us tonight. Thanks, John.
Switching to politics, tomorrow is Election Day, and the presidential contenders are crisscrossing the nation to make their closing arguments to the voters. Natalie Brand is at the White House with a look at their final push.
On the eve of Election Day, President Trump and Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden are hitting the campaign trail in 5 crucial states. The president makes the most campaign stops with 5 rallies.
Get your friends, get your family, get your neighbors, get your co-workers, get your boss, grab him by the tie, say, let's go, boss. And get out and vote.
Biden has 3 rallies kicking off the day with a last-minute stop in Cleveland, Ohio.
Tomorrow we have an opportunity to put an end to a presidency that's divided this nation.
The fight for Pennsylvania is dominating both campaigns' final hours ahead of Tuesday's election, with all 4 candidates fanning out across the Commonwealth.
Pennsylvania will determine who will be the next president of the United States.
The road to victory goes right through the Keystone States. We can only get this done in Pennsylvania.
We win Pennsylvania, we win the whole deal. You know that, huh?
Former President Barack Obama is pushing to get out last-minute voters in Atlanta, Georgia, and Miami, Florida, 2 states where the black vote could be key to a Biden victory.
You can deliver the change that we need, but you're going to have to vote.
More than 96 million Americans have already cast early ballots, and a recent CBS News poll shows Biden has an edge with early voters, though the vast majority of the president's supporters are expected to come out on Election Day.
Tonight, the Biden-Harris campaign will get some star power on the trail, with music stars John Legend and Lady Gaga teaming up with the campaign. Meanwhile, the White House is adding a layer of protection ahead of Election Day. A non-scalable fence is expected to be placed around the entire perimeter of the White House. This will be the same kind of fencing that was put up this summer during protests in Washington, D.C. The fence comes as police and other officials are getting ready for possible protests related to the 2020 presidential election outcome. Many businesses near the White House have already boarded doors and windows, fearing civil unrest after Election Day.
Minnesota 8th District candidate Quinn Nystrom says she's feeling cautiously optimistic going into Election Day. The Democratic candidate held an outdoor campaign event in Duluth today. She says in 2018, Minnesota saw lower voter turnout in some precincts. She's working to make sure everyone knows their voice matters. Nystrom says meeting people and hearing their stories keeps her pushing toward the finish line.
I'm motivated by the people who want a better district, want a better state, want a better country, and they believe that by voting for me, that I will represent the people when I go to Washington, D.C. to represent them.
Nystrom says being the first woman nominated as a candidate for the 8th District and possibly the first woman to represent the 8th District also keeps her motivated. We reached out to Republican incumbent Pete Stauber's campaign about his final message to voters, but have not heard back. Stauber is hosting a small watch party tomorrow night, but media is not allowed to attend. A reminder of when your ballots are due and where you can return them. In Minnesota, if you're hand delivering your absentee ballot, it's due to your county or city clerk no later than 3 tomorrow afternoon. If you've already voted by mail, your ballot must be received by 8 p.m. Election Day or it may not be counted. Officials say it's too late to vote by mail if you haven't already sent it out. A reminder, you can still register to vote at the polls on Election Day.
In Wisconsin, it is too late to request or send an absentee ballot by mail. If you still have your ballot, it must be returned in person by 8 p.m. tomorrow to the city or county clerk's office. You can also vote and register to vote in person on Election Day. In Michigan, all ballots must be received by the city clerk no later than 8 p.m. tomorrow. If you still have an absentee ballot, you're asked to return it in person. Michigan also offers same-day voter registration. All 3 states offer in-person voting from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Election Day. For more information on voting or to find your polling location, head on over to our website, CBS3Duluth.com. And Dave's here for a quick look at the weather. Dave, it feels a whole lot more like October weather that we had out there today.
Go figure, Tony, because I'll show the stats for October in a few minutes, which shows we were drastically cooler than normal.
Yeah.
Now that November is here, it's starting to perk up temperature-wise, and we're rolling towards a week with much warmer than normal temperatures. And the process began today. The normal's around 45. Just about everybody beat that today with a range of 46 to even 55 degrees. And I think it's going to be like that for the rest of the week because twin high-pressure cells will dominate most of the United States, bringing both sunny and warm conditions almost all week long. The change may start on Saturday for Minnesota Deer Opener. We'll talk about that in more detail in just a little bit, but our day planner for Tuesday says it's going to be a gorgeous day with the high-pressure cells bringing a clear to partly cloudy sky to the region. We start at 32 degrees in the morning, finish in Duluth and Superior around 59 degrees, but of course farther inland and especially down to the south, the 60-degree threshold can be cracked. And again, I'll show you the 7-day in a few minutes to talk about how long this warm spell will last.
Thanks, Dave. Still to come on Live at 5, a chance for community members to join the Chamber of Commerce in Hibbing, plus a road trip rally across the Iron Range. City by City is up next.
And tonight at 6, some UMD physics students got the opportunity to get out of the classroom and out from behind the Zoom camera to learn physics in a fun and unique way.
You're watching Live at 5 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live Local CBS3.
Season 2 is
The
here.
Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
Having reliable internet with Mediacom has been so great for us during these crazy times. It's allowed my husband to continue to work from home without missing a beat. We had our second son during the pandemic, and it allowed us to connect with family members. They've been able to see each of the different milestones through FaceTime calls and Zoom calls, and it's been a very special time every time we get to do that. So thank you to Mediacom.
I'm Quinn Nystrom, and I pay $600 a month for 2 vials of insulin, and that's with insurance. Meanwhile, drug company profits go up and up. It's why I refuse to take their money for my campaign. But Pete Stauber has taken tens of thousands of dollars from corporate interests and voted 5 times against lowering the cost of prescription drugs. I approve this message because I know we literally can't afford Pete Stauber in Congress.
We've been through a lot this year, and it all feels so personal. Your health and your family's well-being, the businesses you built, your kids' education. So many of you have told me that you want us to move forward, get this virus under control, rebuild American manufacturing, support innovation and small businesses. Make America work for all of us. I'm Tina Smith, and I approve this message because we get it done when we work together.
It isn't always easy living in the Northland. Up here, we have to count on our neighbors and let them know they can always count on us. I have the honor of serving our community in the State Assembly. Down there, I'm fighting to make healthcare more affordable and broadband more accessible. My opponent has other ideas. He wants to help companies like Foxconn give tax cuts and bailouts to billionaires, leaving us behind. I'm Beth Myers, and you can always count on me.
Welcome back to the CBS3 News, live at 5. Here's a live look at Grand Rapids on this sunny and warm Monday afternoon. Dave Anderson will have your full weather forecast coming up in a few minutes, but first, let's take a quick look around the region.
The Hibbing Chamber of Commerce has a great opportunity for qualified residents, plus one last push for Iron Range DFLers ahead of tomorrow's election.
That and more as we take you around the Northland, city by city.
Let's start things off in Hibbing, where the Area Chamber of Commerce is looking for community members to step up and fill newly opened Board of Directors seats. Board members can serve up to 2 consecutive 3-year terms. The Hibbing Chamber works to support area businesses and foster a healthy business environment. If you're interested in applying for a seat on the board, you have until this Friday to submit your application.
Heading now to Chisholm, where this past Saturday, supporters of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris organized a traveling rally across the Iron Range. The road rally across the range started in Chisholm and then traveled to Grand Rapids and Ely, with short stops along the way.
And finally, we'll finish off in Ashland, where residents have some questions regarding a new development project. You'll recall last week we reported on the city's approval of a $12 million housing development that would include a new Mexican restaurant. Many residents who spoke to the Ashland Daily Press say they are concerned the city had not notified them of the plans ahead of the announcement. Others say they worry what the 50 additional units of low-income housing may do to the neighborhood.
If there's something going on in your neighborhood that you think we should know about, send us an email and it might be featured as we go around the Northland, city by city.
Still to come on Live at 5, how a local teacher is answering her students' political questions ahead of Election Day.
Here's a live look at downtown Ely, where today's warm spell took a big hit on the snowbanks alongside Sheridan Street there from last week's decent snowfalls. Well, with temperatures near 60 for the rest of the week, I think all the snow around the region will disappear. For how long? Well, we'll try to figure that out together. Their 7-day forecast coming up after the break.
Season 2 is here, y'all. And yes, I am in an eye patch. How much more, Kelly, can it
get? The
get?
Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
Hit the slopes this winter with alpine skis from Continental Ski and Bike. Come in and browse our massive selection of alpine skis, or let our highly skilled technicians tune up your current skis so you're all set for your next adventure.
What do you get when you add care from Essentia Health and coverage from UCare? Essentia Care, now available for a more affordable price. Essentia Care's Medicare Advantage plans have premiums that start at $0 per month in select counties. you'll be able to see your Essentia Health provider at our 15 hospitals and 71 clinics. Plus, Essentia Care plans allow you the freedom to see any provider who accepts Medicare. Compare and shop plans at ucare.org/EssentiaCare.
We've been down this road long enough, but Tom Tiffany wants to keep us going in the wrong direction. Even during a pandemic, Tiffany supports taking away protections for pre-existing conditions, kicking millions off their health insurance, and forcing you to pay more. There's another way. Tricia Zunker. Zunker will put our families first with better health care and help for small businesses, workers, and farmers to get our economy moving again. Tricia Zunker for Congress.
I'm Tricia Zunker, and I approve this message. Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northland still to this day.
Watch Eye on Mining with Kristen Vaki every Tuesday at 10. Brought to you by Iron Mining Association, Range Regional Airport, and Miners National Bank of Evelyn. Only on live, local CBS3.
Wolverine RMX 1000 now at RJ Sport and Cycle.
Tuesday on CBS3 this morning, it's Election Day. We're telling you everything you need to know as you head to the polls and hone in on those race results.
And weather will be picture perfect with plenty of sunshine and temperatures in the 50s.
So wake up with us starting at 5 a.m.
Watch Jeopardy at 4:30, followed by CBS3 Live at 5 on live, local CBS3. Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, October has wrapped up and the stats are in from National Weather Service Duluth. October's departure from normal mean temperature, 5.2 degrees cooler than normal. But with that warm summer, year to date, we're still 1.13 degree warmer than normal. Now for November ahead, what's the trend going to be? Well, those who do long range forecasting. I'm not one of them. I can forecast out to 7 days. And by day 8, flip a coin, wear a blindfold. So you got to trust these folks. What do they say? They think will be normal for November, but we're starting this week with warmer than normal, much warmer than normal, and we'll talk about that 7-day forecast in just a bit. First, we have to look at the here and now with the current conditions in Duluth. At the airport, it's 45 degrees. That's the normal high temp for this date, so yeah, we're warmer than normal pretty much for the week ahead. Relative humidity is 53%. Westerly, northwesterly winds running 7 miles per hour, and 30 inches even is our barometric pressure. 2 highs are slated to dominate our sky for the next week, so we're going to be more sunny than anything else. Right now, temperature-wise, we're in the low to mid-40s in the Upper Peninsula, and we're looking at a range of 41 to 47 in northwestern Wisconsin. The cool spot, Solon Springs. The warm spot, Superior. 48 degrees towards east-central Minnesota. Mid-40s for much of the North Shore. The 2 iron ranges, the Vermilion and the Mesabi, and border country, generally in the mid-40s there as well. Low temps tonight might fall into the 30s, and that's 30s above zero, so the warm spell will be both for daytime highs and overnight lows. Doppler map right now shows that the high-pressure system's taking control of our area. The clouds that tried to hit us here for the weekend, especially on Saturday, are being pushed away. Precip's being pushed away as well, and the twin high-pressure cells then will dominate us with sunshine and with warmth, since at least one of them will be spinning southerly winds into the region for a good portion of the time ahead. And again, through Tuesday, from Tuesday to Saturday, it may indeed be just like this. The day of change finally might start creeping in on the weekend. Saturday for the Minnesota deer opener, the clouds may start to thicken up again, but it'll still be pretty warm. It's Sunday into Monday when we start to lose the warm spell and we start to get enough clouds to bring a rain and snow mix. Maybe more rain on Sunday, a little bit more of the mix towards snow on Monday. Monday should be the day when we fall out of the 50s and back into the 30s. Tonight, well, overnight we'll go into the 30s here, even some 20s for Minnesota with a partly cloudy sky. Tomorrow in Wisconsin and Michigan, the low temps will be 29 to 33 with a partly cloudy sky. And then because of the highs, it'll be clear to partly cloudy for Wisconsin and the UP, with highs going 59 to 63. Again, the normal's about 45. Into Minnesota, keeping in mind the normal's near 45, we're running a range of 53 by the lake to 62 degrees down by Moose Lake with a clear to partly cloudy sky. And that's what we'll have aloft all the way through Friday. Highs in the 50s towards the 60s. Saturday gets a little cloudier for Minnesota deer opener. Maybe a little bit too warm. You know, the deer, they tend to bed down and relax on a warm day like we do. It's usually when it's cold they're out and they're moving. So that's what we get through Saturday. Then the next chance of precip and a cool down finally by Monday.
We'll hope it's not warm enough that the deer stop moving. Thanks, Dave. A former Duluth teacher is making sure everyone, no matter their age, gets their political questions answered this election cycle. Sharon McMahon is a former government teacher. She spent the last year making informational videos geared towards people as young as middle school. Her 3 to 5 minute videos all include nonpartisan, fact-based information. McMahon breaks down topics like the Electoral College and how it works, and even how governors get the power to create face mask mandates. McMahon says she uses made-up candidates and characters to illustrate those points while also making it consumable and entertaining.
I kept thinking about it in terms of what would I want my students, what do I want the general public, what kind of information would I want presented to them? I wouldn't want their teacher to be like, you should really vote for this person. I would want them to give them facts and let my student do the critical thinking.
Do you wish to continue?
McMahon says teachers have been using her videos during virtual classroom exercises. She hopes they'll help kids understand the process when it's eventually their time to vote.
A new study finds more than half of Americans expect tomorrow, Election Day, to be the most tense day of their lives, with younger people experiencing the most stress. Whether it's the election or the ongoing pandemic, meditation apps are seeing a spike in usage as more Americans look for ways to cope. Doctors say the health benefits of a little quiet time are enormous. CBS's Nancy Chen spoke with one new user who says the proof is in the practice.
Everybody talks about meditating, and I was like, no, that sounds like hocus pocus. How is that going to help?
For 31-year-old Katie Richmond, sitting in silence seemed like the worst thing ever for her anxiety. But since June, she's been meditating every day for 10 minutes and says it's changed her life.
I've been able to sleep better. I feel like I'm able to handle the daily stressors better.
Just begin by taking a big deep breath.
Meditation app Headspace says its downloads are up about 20% since mid-March. And Calm reports its daily downloads have doubled. Experts say meditation can introduce mindfulness.
It's paying attention on purpose in the present moment.
Psychiatrist Dr. Seema Desai says it can help counter the negative effects of stress.
It can have an effect on our immune system, our blood pressure, heart rate.
Meditation can look like many different things, from a seated practice to mindfulness being incorporated into daily activities, even household chores.
So if we're washing the dishes, what does the water temperature feel like right now? Can you smell the soap? Can you actually pay attention to these things? And when we're doing that, it's often helping us stay centered, stay focused.
That kind of focus brings calm, which Richmond says benefits everyone.
Me being my best is going to make sure that I can give my best to everybody else.
And experts say don't get discouraged. Meditation is like any exercise. Stick with it and you'll see the benefits.
Experts say meditation is part of an overall strategy for healthy living, along with exercise, getting good sleep, eating a balanced diet, and having social and spiritual connections.
Still to come, a spike in deer tag sales ahead of this weekend's Minnesota opener.
Rebuilding Minnesota in a post-pandemic world will take heart and hard work. I'm Michelle Lee, your DFL candidate for Senate District 11. From Teamsters to teachers to laborers to public service professionals, I've earned endorsements from union and labor organizations representing thousands of our essential workers. Now I'm asking for your personal endorsement on Election Day, your vote. Together, we're Minnesota strong. I'm Michelle Lee, and I approve this message.
They want to ban planes and cars, even cows. And who's extreme enough to help them do it? Radical liberal Quinn Nystrom. Their plan would abolish mining, kill manufacturing, cost trillions of dollars, and destroy thousands of jobs in Minnesota. Quinn Nystrom and her extreme allies will stop at nothing to enact their radical agenda. Stop Quinn Nystrom and stop them from destroying our way of life.
I'm Pete Stauber, and I approve this message.
Coming up, an update to the fire that happened here at the Pastorette Building Sunday.
Last week we had cold and snow. This week will be warmth and sun. I'll tell you all about those temperatures
tonight at 6 on CBS3.
I hail from Canada, but I'm not a hockey player. I came here for soccer, but my journey at UWS has turned into much more than just an athletic endeavor. I have a lot to thank the professors for allowing me the opportunity to have confidence in myself, whether it's on the field or in the classroom or on the campus, and I think that I really flourished. For me, my experience at UWS has truly allowed me to connect with who I am. You know, for such a small campus, I think it offers such a big experience. The name Superior truly fits this institution.
What do you do after you're the #1 selling brand of gas-powered handheld outdoor power equipment in America? You start making more equipment right here in America. Real steel. Find yours.
Northwest Outlet is #1 when it comes to kids' winter clothing from the North Face and Columbia. Shopping Northwest Outlet for kids is a pleasure because they carry everything to keep them warm and dry in sizes infant to extra large for you. Jackets, winter coats, snow pants, bibs, mitts, gloves, hats, and smart wool socks, and winter boots from Kamek and Baffin and more. So keep the kids warm and dry this winter with the best from the North Face and Columbia. Shop Northwest Outlet, the children's winter clothing store. 1814 Belknap Superior, the store that saves you more.
Medicare isn't everyone's favorite thing to shop for, but with UCare, it might be worth a browse because right now, UCare is offering a $0 premium plan statewide. And unlike original Medicare, you also get prescription drugs, doctor visits, dental, hearing, and glasses. Fire off any questions to a decomplicator today. Hey, it's what we're here for. UCare, people-powered health plans.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
Just a week out from Minnesota's deer hunting opener, and tag sales are significantly higher than this time last year. As of Friday, the state sold nearly 174,000 licenses. That's up about 20,000 or 14% from a year ago. The current sales are also the highest they've been in 4 years. Youth deer licenses are also up 11%. It will be the state's second statewide youth hunt. An early snowfall has some hunters excited, but warm temperatures this week and into the weekend could mean a sloppy mess come Saturday morning's opener.
Minnesotans looking for health insurance coverage can start to enroll for MNsure. Open enrollment will last from now through December 22nd. That's when you can choose your health and dental coverage plans for 2021. MNsure's contact center will also have extended hours during the open enrollment period, which includes evening hours on certain days. For more information on the enrollment period, check out our website.
Coming up on the CBS Evening News, 1 day to go. Nearly 100 million votes already cast. And it all comes down to this. President Trump holding 5 rallies in 4 states where he lags in the polls. As former Vice President Biden puts the pressure on Pennsylvania, could this election come down to the Keystone State? Plus, windows boarded up, police in place, the National Guard on alert. We'll take a look at the measures states are taking ahead of the potential unrest after the polls close. That's all ahead here on the CBS Evening News.
CBS3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health Pharmacies, keeping things safe, simple, and convenient through mail, local delivery, drive-through, and curbside pickup services.
First, the radical left came after Republicans like me.
Then the radical left came after police officers like me.
Now, they're coming after you. We live in dangerous times. That's why I'll always defend the police and your Second Amendment right to defend your family. Tina Smith has already voted against both. I'm Jason Lewis, and not only do I approve of this message, I guarantee it. Not bad.
Let's keep practicing.
At Super One Foods, we're dedicated to delivering the best products to your family's table. Our fresh, never frozen, and hand-breaded deli chicken is made every day with the best ingredients, including our signature breading. While you visit, choose from dozens of delicious sides to accompany your meal. And don't forget about our amazing selection in our bakery. We offer fresh baked breads, rolls, and desserts fit for any occasion. You'll find quality, convenience, and craftsmanship at Super One Foods, every day delivering low prices and better choices.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northlands still to this day.
Watch Eye on Mining with Kristen Vaki every Tuesday at 10. Brought to you by Iron Mining Association, Range Regional Airport. and Miners National Bank of Evelyn. Only on Live Local CBS3.
We've been down this road long enough, but Tom Tiffany wants to keep us going in the wrong direction. Even during a pandemic, Tiffany supports taking away protections for pre-existing conditions, kicking millions off their health insurance, and forcing you to pay more. There's another way. Tricia Zunker. Zunker will put our families first with better health care and help for small businesses, workers, and farmers to get our economy moving again. Tricia Zunker for Congress.
I'm Tricia Zunker, and I approve this message.
Welcome back to the CBS3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look from our Duluth Tower Cam. Let's take a quick look at some of today's top stories and a peek at what's coming up tonight at 6. Sunday's fire at the Cozy building is still under investigation today. We still don't know how much damage was done to the vacant building or how the fire started. Chief Crujay couldn't speculate at this point if he thinks it's suspicious. He says they've spent the day investigating how structurally sound the building is.
And tonight at 6, for weeks like these, some of us may be wishing we would have stashed that high school civics textbook away somewhere safe. If you find yourself with questions about the ins and outs of politics on election night, a former Duluth teacher has found a unique way to help no matter how old you are. That's your news at 5. The CBS Evening News is next.
Thanks for watching.